and you'll be undead by brunch time. No garlic toast, no sunny eggs, just gooey treats with haunted legs. But wait, what's this? The shelves are bare, the jelly's gone, it's just not there. Donuts in darkness, come take a bite. Crimson and creepy, but not a fight. Fangs out for flavor, brunch is the game. But someone's stealing our jelly and fame. Constantine came with his evil eclairs, turning heads with those puff pastry stares. He's charming the vamps, he's stealing the crowd. Dracula's donuts are no longer proud. The humans are vanishing, something's amiss. It's more than a brunch time bakery diss. Elena's got plans and a stealing of truth. We'll fry up a scheme with a side of fruit. You mess with my jelly. You mess with my brunch club. Donuts and darkness take your claim. Coffins and coffee, we play no games. From lunchtime battle to the flame. To save the jelly and clear my name. Dracula's brunch club. From the islands where the sun meets the sea, Jason's the voice we all wanna be. Interviewing creators, making comics come alive. With every story, he helps us thrive. Jason from Hawaii, diving in deep, unveiling the stories that we wanna keep. From creators to heroes, he's got the scoop on the comics for fun and profit loops. So tune in.
Aloha! It's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing award-winning producer, writer, and more importantly, a donut aficionado, Brian Gonsar. Now, Brian, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yep, you nailed it.
Thank you very much. Now, he is here to promote his debut graphic novel, Dracula's Brunch Club from Oni Press. Now, I had to double check this to make sure that this is the date that's going to come out. I'm hoping, and it might change, listeners, but so the original graphic novel comes out on August 12th. And I love it because it's kind of ironic that the book comes out on the 12th because you can go out and buy like a dozen donuts after you pick up your book. Yeah.
I haven't thought of that before, but that's a great observation. I love that. I might do that.
All right, Brian, welcome to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How are you doing today?
Well, aloha, Jason. Nice. Thank you for having me. It's been great to speak with you, and I'm doing great today. It's a Friday, and so enjoying getting ready for the weekend.
Oh, yes. Okay. Now, Brian, I'm going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, and please feel free to add anything. You have an impressive resume. Now, listeners, he is a director of production of an ad agency, Rise and Run. This is an off-the-cuff question, just briefly, what is the ad agency's, what kind of an ad agency? It's an ad agency, Rise and Run. So what kind of work do you do there? Or what?
Yeah, so I've been throughout my career, my day job career, I've been at a bunch of different ad agencies from J. Walter Thompson, BBDO, Hill Holiday. This one, we do a lot of pharmaceutical advertising and general health stuff. So I run a team of producers that we produce television commercials or print ads and all sorts of things. So a lot of video work, animation, things like that.
That is so cool. And like I said, I had to ask you that because when I was just trying to look up at because you have a website and I looked it up and it said that, of course you said, you're director of production, at Rise and Runs. I looked it up. I was going, and I saw like, it's more in the medical field and so forth. So that's why I want that just to clarify with you. But
Mhm.
thank you very much for sharing that. Also, to listeners, he is a feature film producer of movies like Forgetting the Girl that came out in 2012. Now you can catch that on Tubi, Pluto TV, and Apple Plus. He has produced some commercials such as Dunkin' Donuts. And that commercial is on Brian's website. I saw the Dunkin' Donuts. I had to put that in because, of course, we're going to be talking about jelly donuts,
Yep.
in this interview, in this episode, and it was with Eli Manning.
Hmm.
It's pretty good. That I was. I'm going to say it's because I know there's some when you guys do, there's some commercials that are done, I guess, in regional areas.
Hmm.
That means in Hawaii, we don't get to see some of it. So,
Yeah.
but that was
Yeah, it was
pretty
fun.
fun.
Like we would do some with like a couple years ago, Rob Gronkowski up in like Boston because he was a
Yes.
big Patriots player, like Eli Manning down in New York City where I am. And so those are fun.
And then also too, you've done a commercial, and now correct me if I'm wrong, Optum with
Hmm.
Rory McIlroy. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Rory McIlroy is a big golfer, won the Masters this year, and so he we got to work with him on some stuff.
Oh, cool. And also too, you've also produced some music videos, and you have a list of music videos, but one I want to point out is YouTube Invisible, the
Hmm.
YouTube group. You Invisible. That is pretty cool. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wild 2 month ride with them, and we turned that into we did a full music video, but we turned that into a Super Bowl spot as well, where we donated a ton of money. Bank of America donated a ton of money to the charity Red, which is a AIDS charity that Bono supports a lot. So it was a good cause for that.
Really nice. And also too, and I'm gonna say I'm not gonna forget this. You have now, correct me if I'm wrong, you have written Twisted Tales of Scary Stories that is available to read on the Caribou app. Is that
Hmm.
correct? So
Yeah.
when did that come out?
It's
Or
a cool app that is available on like iPad and everything. Mattel purchased it a few years ago, so Mattel the toy company,
yes.
and it's great. Like during the pandemic, it really kind of blew up a little bit because there was a sort of a FaceTime feature where if grandparent or parent was away and you could read a story together and both like if you press a button, it'd flip the page on both person's screen at the same time. So that was great. And now there's a bunch of books on there that you can read, but yeah, there's two stories on there that are fun little twisted tales of things about werewolves or trolls, and so it's good for early readers.
So cool. That is pretty cool. All right, now listeners, you can follow Brian he's all over the place. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and and it's all lowercase B as in boy, G-O, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, A-R as in red.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah, it's a benefit of my last name not being a widely used last name. I can pretty much get B Gonzer at on any platform that opens up.
that's right, yes. And then also too, let's see. You know what? I forgot to break down your promote your website. I mean, I talked about how
Yeah.
can people follow you on your website?
Yeah, you can find me at
Hmm.
bgonzerbooks.com. That you can find there, or my producer website is just bgonzer.com. So bgonzerbooks or bgonzer.com.
Okay. Now, now, of course, listeners, we're going to get to this. I got to do a couple more things. I want to give a shout out to Hannah Bahedri of Superfan Promotions. Hannah, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes in setting up this interview and also providing me a review copy. So, Hannah, thank you very much. Brian, would you like to give a shout out to Hannah and the Superfan Promotion team?
Yeah, the whole Superfan team has been great. Like, this is my debut graphic novel, obviously, but
Yes.
they know all the right people to reach out to, like you and provide that connection. And I mean, I just love getting the book in the hands of people just to read. So any way that we can do that, they've been a great help and lovely people to work with as well.
Now, also to one last shout out because I got some of the information from previous interviews that you have done from friends of the podcast. I know you did a interview that I think it was a written interview
Hmm.
that was released maybe about within the last week. The com from Comic Book Yeti. That's
Yeah.
where I got some of my information from, and also the YouTube video. It's a short video, a 20-minute video. I think it was done back in early in earlier this month in July or late June. I can't remember.
Hmm.
Nerds Rule the World with the host Heather is a nerd. So
Yep.
that's a fun video. So listeners, if you guys get a chance, please read the comic book Yeti's written interview. And if you get a chance, check out Nerds Rule the World, the 20-minute interview with Brian. That was pretty good. Those were fun. All right,
Awesome.
Brian. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to add anything else?
No, that was great. That was great. Thanks.
Oh, all right. Let's just jump into this. Dracula's Brunch Club. What is your story about?
All right, so this is, I know I mentioned those kind of twisted tales that were on
Yes.
that Caribou app, but this is kind of a twisted origin story, twisted humorous origin story of why
Yes.
vampires love blood. And in this story, Dracula is a donut aficionado,
Hmm.
where so it's not a autobiography, but but it's related interests. But basically, he returns from his worldwide jelly donut tour
Hmm.
to find that his coveted brunch club has been taken over by his nemesis Constantine. And Constantine has kicked out all the humans from the
Uh-huh.
club, and he's also introduced a few new vampires that Dracula's never seen before. And but really, the worst part is like all the jelly in the land has dried up, has disappeared. And his blood orange jelly that he uses in his donuts is what gives the vampires their all night everlasting energy. So
Yes.
obviously, this creates a bit of a problem for
Hmm.
him and his brunch club. So he's got to find a suitable alternative to this energy
Yes.
giving blood orange jelly to help get him back, get his brunch club back, but at the same time, not creating a divide between humans and vampires, which he worked so hard to establish a great relationship with.
Yes. And then also too, it's in some sense it's a little bit of a generational story too, because his father was the one that established that relationship between the vampires and the humans, and he's just trying to still trying to maintain it and
Mhm.
make it strong as ever. It's a great
Yeah,
story.
yeah, he really wanted to follow, kind of in his footsteps of his dad, sort of the good influence that he had on him, and he saw the value in it and wanted to continue that, certainly in his own way. But then, yeah, when things get turned upside down, he wants to protect what he feels is important, what his father started, and so it means a lot to him to kind of get this back. So I know I shouldn't say this, but the stakes are high. Not wooden stakes, but yes.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the I love the humor in the book, and because I just love it. It's great. And we'll drop some we'll drop some a little bit later on in the interview because I want to
Yeah.
still continue on because I read about, like some of your inspirations for writing this story.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like the some of the movie influences that influenced
Yeah.
this story.
Well, I mean, I think I was maybe in middle school. There's a middle grade graphic novel, maybe in middle school, and we were with my family. I think my uncle rented Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was the first thing I've seen that was like really a parody on something, and I just loved it. Like it was hilarious to me. Made good middle grade humor, good adult humor too, but
Yes.
to me, it was cracking up. So that kind of kickstarted me into this kind of parody sort of world, or
Hmm.
funny versions of serious things. And I've seen things like another Mel Brooks film, Dracula Dead, loving it.
Hmm.
All the What We Do in the Shadows.
Hmm.
There
Yes.
was a off-Broadway thing called Dracula Comedy of Terrors, which you can hear like a podcast on it too. And like I mean, they were hilarious. A lot of the stuff is adult though. It's very adult.
Yes.
Yes, kids have little Hotel Transylvania if they want to watch a movie, but in this sort of book world, the vampires have been all, evil or like a little dark. So I wanted to lighten the mood a little bit, have a little fun with it, and so that was sort of the genesis of it and sort of where my head goes. My even in serious situation, my head kind of goes to more, let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Yes.
So kids deal with a lot of serious stuff and a lot of, school stuff every day. They probably want to come home and not be reminded of that, but just be entertained. So
Yes.
that's what I want to provide.
Now, I'm actually I'm gonna rephrase this question because I think you saw one of the questions, but was was there a particular reason why you wanted to use? I mean, we talked about you saw the Dracula Dead and Loving It and so forth, but when you're coming up with the story, did you kind of go, "Oh, I'll use Dracula," or did you or did you kind of go, "Oh, maybe
Well,
I'll do
this
an."
Yeah, this was like I said, I wrote those twisted tales of scary stories and there was 13 of them.
Oh,
Um this was one of 13. And so when we were pitching, we pitched it out to my agent and I pitched it out to a bunch of editors of like a short story collection.
yes.
And a lot of them came back with us like, I love this. This is really funny. I really like the Dracula one. And, there's one or two others, but I want more, so they're
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
did you ever think of this as a chapter book or a picture book or, something else? So my agent really convinced me to try it out as a graphic novel.
Hmm.
She was like, have you ever done that? Like it's written like a screenplay. I know you
Yeah.
work around scripts all the time.
Uh-huh.
And she gave me a copy of this book, Camp Midnight, which was a graphic novel
Uh-huh.
that kind of blended the spooky and the funny. So I read that and I was kind of hooked, and I kept when I started writing it, it kind of flowed out nicely. So it was a long sort of genesis to the story, but that's how I kind of got it into the graphic novel form.
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about some of your characters. We've already talked about Count Dracula already.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of everyone knows when listening to this podcast when they're going to go into it. It he's he's a gentler, kinder soul. I guess we could
Yep.
say he's more funny. But what about his like? Excuse me. His sidekick is a chef.
Jelu,
Yes,
yeah,
Chef
which is
Jelu.
Romanian for jelly. So,
Oh,
not
that.
that, but
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Count Dracula for a soulless vampire, he does have a bit of a soul and some empathy and everything. He
yes,
he has a good heart to him. Now, Chef Chelou is his human kind of chef,
yes,
maybe a little bit of a familiar type of person. He's his personal assistant. He's his chef. He helps him, make all the donuts for the brunch club and everything else. Chef is great. He's a bit of a comedic relief. He's
yes.
sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny, but he means well. Like
Yes.
he's got Dracula's back, but he likes to have a little fun. Um, and also like Dracula does have a best friend, Vlad, who is also a vampire.
Right.
But
Yes.
on the human end too, he's really close with this woman, Elena. And
Yes.
she looks very Romanian gypsy from 1600s,
Mm-hmm.
but she's very philanthropic. Her big thing is that she's doing a charity auction for sick kids at the hospital.
That's yes.
Um, yeah, and Dracula agrees to make a year's supply of jelly donuts for her auction to
Mm-hmm.
to raise money. And so she is good. Her deep down goal, she would love to be a vampire as well.
Yes.
She likes being up at night. She thinks it's cool that they could turn into a bat or
Mm-hmm.
surprise
Yes.
people with their medallion. So uh she likes that a lot. Um and but then, kind of on the other side, Constantine, who I mentioned before, is really he's kind of the evil vampire that
Mm-hmm.
you would normally think of there. He he's lived forever. He kind of
Mm-hmm.
feels a little older. He loves the power that the
Yes.
brunch club holds over all the vampires, and so he wants to take control of that. Now, I think with every good comedy, when you have a bad guy, have a, they have a sidekick. This person who's named Orlok in here,
Yes.
little short guy. He is on the bad guy side, but at heart, he's not really
Mm-hmm.
a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He questions things, but he's loyal to Constantine, so he helps out. So yeah, you got him as well.
I was just thinking about it when you're talking, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I love about the story is that Count Dracula is this nice, you know, he's kind of a nice, friendly, funny character. And Constantine is almost like was like the opposite, or kind of like the straight man in this story. It's kind of not, not really is, but he's the opposite of Count Dracula.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about Constantine, and because when I was reading it, and this is just me hearing the voice of Constantine, I
Hmm.
kept thinking of Christopher Lee.
Mm.
Oh, he
Mhm.
would have been, if you could make a movie now or the animated
Yeah.
cartoon, excuse me, listeners, he would be perfect, the
Oh
perfect
yes, that kind of
voice.
deep English accent. Yeah, that would exactly. It's like I kind of wrote him with that sort of tone in my mind,
Yes,
and it really dramatizes the character a bit and makes it more serious and devious.
yes, it was great. So I love the thing, Brian. Now we can talk a little bit more what I love about. I
Hmm.
really love this graphic novel. Um, Now, because I have to look up some information. Now, I know the graphic novel is promoted for children 8 to 12,
Hmm.
but I enjoyed reading it. It's because I love it because it's on two different levels. Like it's
Yeah.
kids can read it, but
Hmm.
also adults can enjoy it as well too.
Yeah.
And we will probably get some of the jokes that some of the kids can. You know,
Hmm.
some, not all, but it's great. I love it. And it's almost like how, because when you're talking about the Caribou app of, grandparents can read,
Hmm.
books to their kids, they don't have to be in the same household and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is a graphic novel that, a grandfather or grandmother who loves comics, they
Hmm.
can go, I can read this to I can read this to my son or my
Yep.
grandson, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's a great I like that about it because it's a softer version of a vampire story.
Hmm. Yes.
It's not full on horror by
Yes.
anything. It's a comedy and a spooky wrapper.
Yes.
That's what it is. And for middle grade, it's targeted to 8 to 12 year olds.
Hmm.
And because it's age appropriate, word appropriate
Yes.
in there as far as vocabulary words and everything, but it's also everyone who's reviewed it like on Goodreads. I mean, most everyone's adults, but a lot of people can find some things that they really enjoyed about it. It was, it's
Yes.
entertaining. It's not jamming messages down people's throats.
Yes. Hmm.
It takes all the tropes and stereotypes that we know about vampires and makes it funny. And I think for some older people too, like me, the art is a bit nostalgic of that kind of 90s Cartoon Network thing.
Yes.
So there is a bit of nostalgia there and a bit of introduction of that style
Hmm.
to new kids.
Let's talk about the art. So, how did you team up with now Kian um,
Yeah, Keenan Gable.
Giba? Okay.
Yep. So he's based in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Cape Town. I've actually met him twice when I was over there filming. But
Okay.
I saw a music video in 2021 by this band All Time Low. They're like a pop
Okay.
punk band, and they did a song with Black Bear, and they did a remix of it with Demi Lovato called Monster. And when I saw that, I was just like, that is the style that is in my head. Like this looks great. And so I tried to track him down. He wasn't very he wasn't like all over social
Hmm.
media and everything. I think I found like an old email of his on some Tumblr page or some,
Oh.
something that was buried in there. But I contacted him and asked him, it's like, hey, like I love your work. Would you ever want to get
Hmm.
into to books or graphic novels? I've got this thing. He's like, I've always wanted to get into there. So we sort of teamed up and put together this pitch packet and oh man, like every step of the way, just like each piece of art that I saw,
Hmm.
it just enhanced the story. I mean, the it added to the comedy. I can only write so
Yes.
much in words, but he added the visual humor, the
Hmm.
certain things where I would write, oh, Chef Chelou looks for something underneath a rug, and so he
Hmm.
makes this, he makes this bear rug with a bear head on it
Yeah.
with a silly look and everything, and it's just he adds things in there, but yeah, he kind of has this early 90s Cartoon Network vibe. I mean,
Yes.
a lot of people were saying like now like Gravity Falls was felt similar. I always thought that Dexter's Laboratory felt a little similar.
That's yes.
Yeah. People there's a lot of comparisons. Nothing spot on, but there's a lot of comparisons which I love to see, but it's that kind of Saturday morning cartoon vibe, which softens the humor as well. Like
Hmm.
if there is a tense moment, if there is a scary moment, the visual language also softens it.
Yes. And I'm also going to keep coming back to this. What I love about it is that, like you said, for kids, like you said, the artwork style softens, some tense moments.
Mhm.
But as for me and as an adult, the art style is also comf it's almost kind of like comfort food that we recognize it. And it's not like,
Yes.
oh, that kind of looks yeah, that kind of looks a little more kiddie like. But no, it's like, oh no, yeah, I still,
Yeah.
it still hooks you in.
It's like why certain music genres come back around, or like with the emo pop punk stuff, where when we were young festival in
Hmm.
Vegas, like why that sells out so much. It's a nostalgia, it's a familiarity, it's that kind of stuff, and it goes over well. So I feel like even though this is 8 to 12, it can play well older if someone just wants a fun read.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Let's see. Okay, so you have your artists. You already said that, you and your, agent was shopping around stories, to editors and stuff. Uh, how did you team up with Oni Press?
Yeah, so my agent sent the pitch packet that we built to my editor Grace Scheipeter, and she really got it. Like she saw it and got the humor in it, got the
Hmm.
spooky stuff. I mean, they're a great comics shop. I mean, they've been around for a long time. They're well known in that space.
Hmm.
And then also, for the book market, they've got the distribution strength of Simon and Schuster behind
Hmm.
them as well.
Yes,
So
that's right.
um, they had a lot of, there was a lot of stuff going for them. And so I felt really comfortable about partnering with them. And honestly, they put together a great team. Grace was, because this is our debut, both Keenan and myself, Grace was our sort of guru and kind
Hmm.
of held our hand through everything. Put together a great team of like Carrie and the whole design team at Oni Press was great for all the different design elements inside the book. Hired a great letterer, Susie Lee, who's
Hmm.
fantastic. Grace was out maternity leave for a while, so Shannon Waters came in and pitched it for a little bit, who's done Lumberjanes and a bunch of other
Yeah.
things. Like
Oh, okay.
she's well into that. And then the sales and marketing team were fantastic as well. I mean, Katie Saints in the sales team. I mean, she sold this to Scholastic Book Fairs, so that's going to be in
Nice.
the book fairs in the fall, which was
Oh,
a big
nice.
surprise. I was very pumped about that, but got it in there as well. So I'm really looking forward to the potential. I mean, it's just another way to get it in the hands of kids that may
Yes.
not normally see this or Because a
Yes.
lot of yeah, a lot of kids aren't on social media, and
Hmm.
I will try to hold my daughter off as long as I can as
No,
well.
yeah.
Uh, but when it's in these book fairs, I mean, they see it and they can pick it up and be like, oh, this might be something I'm
Yeah.
interested in.
And also too, it's like what would be nice too is that, when these kids bring it home, they're gonna go,
Mhm.
hey, look what I picked up, to
Yep.
their parents. And their parents are gonna go, that looks like Dexter's Lab, art
Yeah.
style.
Yep. Be like,
Let's
did
and
this with you? Yeah.
or it's kind of like, hey, mom or dad, hey, maybe we can read this tonight or together.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of going, yeah, this is familiar.
Yeah.
Yes, I get this. And I have to pull these jokes in because some of it,
Yeah.
it's great. I love the one when Count Dracula, after he comes back from his trip, he's going into town, and I love it how someone wanted to do a selfie with him.
Yeah,
That was
but like
great.
old school selfie with those
Those
flash
flash,
pop on the camera. Yeah, camera. So I find it fun to mix like I was trying to see like how I could mix the time period in with like current trends
yes,
and because there's some inherent humor in that. So
it's
I'm glad that played well.
it did because I'm not being sarcastic or anything because we really don't know back then if someone tried to do that. Like, hey, how do we try to get all of us in the picture at the same time? All right, let's try this. And they
Yep.
probably did selfies, and we don't know what to call them. Yeah, all that
Yeah.
just is we'll take a picture.
Yep.
And I love this joke. I love it. Um, Elena pokes her finger on a thorn on her from a rose bush.
Mhm.
And I love it how Count goes, it's be positive. She goes, yes, I am being positive. It's great. I love it. That was fun. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean that's one that, may play over middle graders' head, but I
Yeah.
think like it's like I remember jokes back when I was a kid and I didn't quite understand it, but I was like, all right, I want to understand this. I want to know this. I want to know why this was someone else laughed and this was funny. So hopefully it gets people exploring. But yeah, I mean, like any way to like because I mean bleeding and blood can be a scary or whatever
Yes.
thing, but any way to lighten it and make it a little more fun, I think is fun.
It was great. I love it. Um, um, Now I'm gonna ask because I'm gonna ask some parts. Like now, uh, um, I'm gonna let you tell the listeners who wrote the forward in this graphic novel and how did you get this person to do it?
Yeah.
I know how, but I
So
want.
the foreword was written by Kevin Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. I actually have a decent in with him because he's my brother-in-law.
Hmm.
We married sisters, so my wife and his wife are sisters. But I mean, 2021 when we were putting this pitch pack together. And that just shows how long I wrote this in 2020, pitched
Hmm.
it out in 2021, and it just takes so long to make these things. But we're on vacation. I'm showing his daughters and my daughter like the artwork that came in,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
they've been waiting patiently for the past 3 years for it to finally come out. Um, and you mentioned early in the year, he's like, oh, if you want me to do anything to support it, let me know. And I know he's a fan of comics. His dad was a big comics collector. He grew up around that and likes
Hmm.
that world. So it's not like it was kind of a foreign thing for
Hmm.
for him, like a stamp of approval on something he has no interest in. So yeah, I'm grateful that he wanted to support like that, and we're good friends, not just family members, but
Hmm.
good friends as well, and try to support each other any way we can.
That's nice. Now, okay, you've already mentioned, that, you already mentioned your wife, and so your wife's name is Dina. Did I?
Yep,
Okay.
Dina.
Now, she was I think one of three people that contribute to some of the pastry recipes in the back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so there's two recipes in the back which are fun. I always like to put there's a couple fun things in the background like evolution of the page, how it goes from script to
yes. Mhm.
color. There was some like we have a cover graveyard on there, like
Yes.
all the different cover options that
Oh
could have
yeah.
been, but why we chose that one. And then we have some recipes, which could be fun to, for anyone to make. The my wife put one in, Dina. She debuted this year as well with her book At the Kitchen Sink.
Hmm.
And that's a cookbook. There's 75 recipes in there and some great inspirational messages as well.
Okay.
So she made what's in the book, the Bloodvarian cream donut.
Yes. Hmm.
It was really good. We she tested it out. I mean, this is kind of what she does for a living. She tested it out and tried to make something that was a little more user friendly
Yeah. Hmm.
versus like, all right, kids, get out the hot oil and just start, turn. So tried to make it a little easier and easy for like kids to do. And then
Yes.
the other recipe was blood orange jelly. And there is
Hmm.
this great donut shop up in Boston called Blackbird Donuts. They have a bunch of locations now in and around the Boston area, and they ship nationwide their stuff. So if anyone's anywhere in the country and wants to try some of their donuts, they're great, but they will ship. But I've known Rebecca for a while. She's the owner. I
That's
was actually invited
nice.
to be one of the taste testers when they opened up like 10 plus years ago.
Oh,
And Paige is their main chef,
yeah.
up there, baker. So they helped and collaborated on this and I'm very thankful for Dina and Rebecca and Paige's support on this and hopefully it gets in the hands of a bunch of kids and they check them out too.
So listeners, again, Dina's book is At the Kitchen Sink, and her website is, correct me if I'm
It's
wrong,
dish
is,
yeah,
yeah.
dishitgirl.com.
All right, no, thank you very much. Okay. Um, I'm gonna actually we still have some time. So I
Yeah.
want to circle back to you because you talked about, how you did the scary tales on the Caribou app, and
Hmm.
how you and your agent were shopping around, the short stories and so forth. Now, after Dracula's you know, after this graphic novel, the Dracula's Brunch Club, do you have another story from maybe a character you want to use from the scary tales to
Hmm.
promote? Do you have something? Well, you don't have to spoil it or anything, but but just
Yeah, nothing to talk about yet, but I'm about ready to pitch out with another illustrator, another story that's sort of from that original Twisted Tale
Mhm.
thing, and that one is a lot of fun. There is food, there is some not this one's maybe less scary. It's very fall. There's a very good fall vibe in it, but
Mhm.
I think this will be fun for, if people like this style, I think
Mhm.
people will like that. But the artwork style is slightly different. I think Keenan and I, we're we're thinking about a sequel for this, if it does well.
Yeah,
We also
yeah.
have another thing that we're trying to finish up, which is more of a young adult graphic novel.
Mhm.
But lots of th irons in the fire, trying to
Yeah.
make work and I seeing sort of the reception of this so far is kind of lit a fire under me to just keep going. Like it's great to get positive feedback on the creative project that you've poured a lot into.
The other thing I'm going to mention, I have to go circle back to the recipes. The other
Mhm.
thing, I mean, we talked about, that this is a great book for not only for adults to read or,
Yeah.
adults to read to their child. The other thing I also love was the pastry recipes because this is where parents and kids can go in the kitchen together.
Hmm.
It's not like mom or dad, well, yeah, okay, I'll make this recipe. No, it's kind of like, no, come on, let's see what you can, let's see, and it may also get them interested in, who knows, culinary school.
Yeah.
I know this is a stretch, but you
Yeah.
know,
The parent-child bond, or whoever child is watching over the children, having that strong relationship is really great. It's so good for the kids. So if there are activities like cooking or anything like that, that would be great. I mean, even even the act of reading a graphic novel. I have an 8-year-old daughter,
Hmm.
and she loves reading graphic novels with me because she'll be like, "All right, you play this role and this role, and then I'll be these two." So we're reading it together and we each have our roles and do our voices and it really gets her reading and sometimes she can be a little more hesitant with like big copy intensive chapter books.
Hmm.
But graphic novels where it's kind of dual modality, you get the visual um, uh, reading
Hmm.
and interpretation, and you also get the actual reading. I think it works really well for her and the engagement as well.
That's perfect. Oh, that is so good. That Thank you very much for sharing that. Um, you talked about, a lot of things about this book. I'm sorry, I gotta ask this question because I'm slowly wrapping this up, but because it sounded like it was fun doing this, but I'm gonna ask you this question. What was like maybe one of the funnest things that you love working on this graphic novel, if you can just narrow it down to one thing or a couple things?
Yeah, I mean, I just love creating things,
Hmm.
like music videos or films or commercials, anything. I love creating things. So the whole process to me is fun. I mean, I think every time I got an email from Keenan with new artwork, it really like gave a shot of adrenaline and it was just so exciting to see.
Hmm.
Um, and then also like learning a bunch about it. Like I've never done a graphic novel
Hmm.
before. I've read them. I've friends with a lot of authors who have done them, but
Hmm.
actually going through the process, I mean, it's a big there's a lot of learning that goes involved and
Hmm.
stuff I now know or the marketing side of things that now know. So just a and with any new thing, like learning is so important, and I like that was fun as well, learning something new there.
Brian, thank you very much. All right, just maybe about three or four more questions.
Sure.
Any convention or bookstore appearance either sometime in August or later in the year?
Yeah, well, I just got back from ALA, the American Librarian Association, their
Okay, yeah.
national conference. So we were there. I was with the whole Oni crew, and one day we did a book signing and a donut brunch, which was
Oh my
a lot
God.
of fun. So basically signed books till my hand cramped and
Oh yeah.
and yeah, that was great. And it was a few panel discussions and got to meet a lot of librarians out there who are just really
Nice.
pivotal in getting the books in the hands
Yeah.
of young readers. So that was fun. I don't have any other. I think Comic-Con is right around now,
Yes,
but
I
I
think,
don't have any
yeah.
plans for anything else. I mean, obviously this comes out August 12th. I think I've got two events in the New Jersey area
Mhm.
in October.
Mhm.
One is a book festival in Morristown. Another one is a appearance at this place called the Book Barn, where kids are encouraged to dress up. You'll get a free donut if you come from this place, Beignets in
Mhm.
nearby. So got some things set up, which will be fun.
Just make sure the donuts are not made from kale.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Don't want to ruin a donut that way.
Listeners, you have to pick up the book for me to understand that reference. I'm not gonna- All right. For listeners who are going to be correct. So I'm sorry, visiting, are you in New York or New Jersey? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm out in New Jersey, but I'm really close to New York City, so I'm in Manhattan once or twice a week.
All right. Your recommendation on where to get the best jelly-filled donuts.
Ooh, that's a good question. So, what one of my favorite donut spots in New York City is Donut Plant. They've got a couple locations, but I think the Lower East Side was like the original
Mhm.
location, and so they have like a peanut butter and jelly donut. They have all kinds of different flavors. Like they're really good. There's two spots that are very like old school, like old fashioned donut pub, which is like on 14th Street and Peter Pan Bakery, which is in Greenpoint over in Brooklyn. So those places are good for just like, I don't know, the authentic, old school kind of donut.
Hmm.
Um, Non-gel. I'm interested. There's a place where you were talking about like Dracula goes on his world tour.
Yes.
He goes to like different places. He goes to Japan and other places. There's a Japanese donut shop that just came over from Japan that's in Times Square called I'm Donut.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't been up there yet. They came maybe a month or so ago, but I'm looking forward to trying that. They've got very inventive filled donuts.
Hmm.
So jellies and creams and all sorts of stuff. And then yeah, there's no shortage of good donut spots in New York.
All right. Okay. Now, have you and your family been to Hawaii?
I've been twice. I filmed a commercial years ago on Oahu, and
Yes.
then I think my wife was just like, "All right, you can't go to Hawaii without me." So we went back and we were on the Big Island, we were on Maui, and
Nice.
we did sample some of the donuts there, which is
Yes.
great. Was
Oh,
that certainly Leonard's Bakery for the malasadas,
yes.
which is great on Oahu. It We went up to in Maui. We went up to this farm called Oo Farm. I
Mhm.
think they supply a lot of the restaurants in the area with like great produce. But on the way up, it's this place, T Komodo Store and Bakery, and they've
Mhm.
got really like old-fashioned donuts. And I also follow Holy Grail Donuts, which is there, and they've got really inventive flavors. I think they've got one location in Los Angeles, but two in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So you've got no shortage of options there for you. But
Well,
I mean, it is
mm,
beautiful there. Like we keep talking about coming back, and all the islands are just beautiful. The people's beautiful,
yes.
and the food is fantastic.
Oh, thank you. So I think what you need to do is you need to go back to Oni Press. You have to talk to Grace, your editor,
Yep.
going, hey, I got this idea, but I got to go to Hawaii. I got to do research. You know?
Need the research. Yeah, exactly. We can do a book tour while we're there, and then
Yeah.
research for the next one. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right. Any closing words to our listeners?
Um, you know, check out Dracula's Brunch Club. I think if you've got a kid, this is perfect for those that may want to read like the Goosebump style stories, but not want to be up all night,
Uh-huh.
scared
Yes.
of what's creaking down the hallway.
Hmm.
Or if you just like some, nostalgia from your 90s youth and want a fun vampire story that's a little different than some of the other ones out there, check it out. But this has been it's been a really fun process, and I love, comics and graphic novels. So I appreciate everything that you're doing to raise awareness of all this stuff that's coming out and out in the world. So appreciate that.
No, you know, Brian, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to interview you. I wish you all the success on your debut graphic novel. Again, listeners, it's Dracula's Brunch Club. Now, again, this is from Oni Press. It comes out now. Like I said, I had to research it because, again, we know sometimes release dates change, but August 12th. Um, you know, and also, Brian, I want to thank you and Kian for making comics. This is a great comic book. You know, listeners, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader, who is looking for something for you and your children to read together, whether you're an adult and your children, or if you're a grandparent who loves reading comics and wants to find something for to read with your grandkids, this is the perfect graphic novel. You know, again, I've mentioned it works on so many layers. Like the kids will love it. The story is it's very clean. It's very good. The art style is very nice, and like Brian has said, it's not scary or anything. It's a very good story, and also too, as an adult, we can enjoy it too because and also Brian, I forgot to mention, I love the dialogue in there. This is great. It's because you're and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's, the adults can read it, we can read it, and also the kids can also enjoy it too. They may not get the jokes at first, but maybe later on they'll go, oh, now I get it. Now I know what they kept talking about. Be positive. Okay. It's
Yeah.
not an attitude thing, but oh, okay, and they'll get it. Um, so again, like I said, this is and also too, the other thing I also want to mention to listeners, also too, it's a great way for adults and children not only to read the book, but also, to inspire them to, maybe try out some of the recipes, to go in the kitchen, and both of you guys, the adults and children, go in there and make try out the recipes too. So again, if you guys get a chance, listeners, pick up this book. I want to give a big mahalo to Hannah of Superfan Promotions. Hannah, again, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes and providing an advanced reading copy. I want to thank Drew, the Codes of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.